guys, Angie B here with today's vlog. And today's vlog topic is heterosexual life partners and why they rock. Now I've got a huge fucking list here, because I love heterosexual life partners. I document them. I keep tabs on them. I just think it's adorable when people come together and despite any sort of whispers about gay relationships or whatever, they just stay together and they're friends and they do anything for each other and it's a bond that lasts until death. And I just think that's awesome because it's so infrequent for anybody to stay together with anybody for years and years at a time. I mean, marriages fail all the time and friendships very rarely last, through everything in life. So I think heterosexual life partnerships are something beautiful, and I just like to pay some homage to them today. Okay, so I've got a lot of real life, and I've got a lot of fictional. First on the list, Matt Damon and Ben Affleck, for those not in the know. Now, I know that they're not really so much together anymore, at least, visibly or professionally, but when they first started making their mark on Hollywood, they were everywhere together. They wrote, they directed, they acted together in all of their movies. And I just thought it was really cute. And even though they're off kind of each doing their separate thing, I'd like to think that they're still BFFs. And I think that's nice. Tim Burton and Johnny Depp. Now there is a BFF partnership if ever there was one. I mean, Tim Burton obviously loves Johnny. And Johnny has to love Tim or else he wouldn't agree to be in all of his movies, right? Martin Scorsese and Leo DiCaprio. Now this is fairly relatively new just because they've only started really working together within the past 8-10 years. But they've done, how many movies together now? 5, I think, with Shutter Island. And I just think it's cute when you watch interviews when Leo's just Martin doesn't even need to say anything. He just looks at me and I know what he means. That right there says that they've got, some sort of a deep bond going on. That they've got a real partnership going when they can just understand what the other one is thinking. That's awesome. I love that. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. They're probably my real-life BFFs to end all BFFs. I just love them so much. They lived together for years. They even slept in the same bed together. I think they're just so goofy and adorable, and I love all the pictures they take, all the photo shoots where they're kissing or hugging or grabbing each other, and I think it's funny and adorable, and I just love that they've got such a huge friendship. Throw in Edgar Wright, and you've got a great BFF OT3 right there. Bruce Campbell, Sam Raimi. They both got their start with the same movie, Evil Dead, and even though Sam Raimi's gone on to be more financially successful, perhaps, I know Bruce has really endeared himself to fangirls and fanboys the world over with his cult classics. And I just love that they're still BFFs and that they still, Sam casts Bruce in small cameo roles in his movies, and I just think it's adorable. Abbott and Costello, Laurel and Hardy, Jack Lemmon and Walter Matthau. Now there's a slice of fried gold for you. I think they're just classic Hollywood BFFs, and they're adorable. I love them together. Odd Couple, the Grumpier Old Men movies, I just love their dynamic and their chemistry and how they played off of each other. Brett and Jermaine from Flight of the Conchords. If you can tell, they're serenading us in the background right now. And obviously, they've got a great BFF-ness going on. And they're Kiwis! Land Down Under. Not that Land Down Under. Land of the Long White Cloud. Land full of sheep. So they get extra points in my book just because they're Kiwis and therefore extra awesome. Let's see here. Colin Mockery and Ryan Stiles from Whose Line Is It Anyway? They're adorable together. I just love them so much together, and I wish that they were both on my TV more regularly and that it wasn't just Whose Line Is It Anyway reruns or Drew Carey Show reruns. Also, Colin Mockery is adorable and Canadian and does one of the best Velociraptor impersonations I've ever seen, so that ties into my last vlog, Canada and Velociraptors. On to the fictional BFFs heterosexual life partners. Matt and Danny from Studio 60. If you never watched Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, that's understandable because it was only on for 5 weeks, but go check it out. Some great acting, really underrated comedy, and Matt and Danny were one of the best BFFs ever. Dr. Greg House and Dr. James Wilson from House. I know Julie would kill me if I didn't mention them. Obviously BFFs. Look at all the stuff they put each other through. How horrible House is to Wilson and how amazing Wilson is to House. And I loved that whole story arc where Wilson was living with House and they were constantly playing practical jokes on each other. It was just so funny. I mean, that's a sign of BFFs right there, when they can continue to do horrible things to each other and they're still friends. Jay and Silent Bob, one of the original heterosexual life partners. JD and Turk from Scrubs, obviously heterosexual life partners, because, I mean, Turk's the only man that's ever been inside of JD. Lord of the Rings is practically BFF central, okay? And I know a lot of these would be considered slash relationships to a lot of people, but I tend to be more canonical when it comes to my Lord of the Rings relationships. And I see these as more innocent, awesome bromances than anything else. Merry and Pippin, Frodo and Sam, Legolas and Gimli. Awesome, awesome heterosexual life partnerships there. Pirates of the Caribbean gave us Pintle and Rigetti, which are adorable. I just love them together. They're basically the Merry and Pippin of pirates, as I always say. Tremors gave us Valentine and Earl. Awesome BFFs, and extra Kevin Bacon awesomeness, so bonus points there. Milo and Otis. A pug and a kitten. Of course, I'm all over that, man. And I love Milo and Otis. It's also a Japanese film, if you didn't know that. Awesome. Took 8 years to make. Check out Milo and Otis if you've never seen it before. It's just full of adorable. Oh my god, baby pugs. Let's see. Sean and Gus from Psych. Obviously heterosexual life partners. They've been friends since they were like 4. And even though Sean is constantly coming up with crazy plans that puts Gus' life and financial security on the line, they're still together. So that says that they've got a bond going. Tulio and Miguel and Tulio, great and powerful gods from Road to El Dorado. I know Becca will agree with me. Tulio and Miguel, one of the most awesome BFF partnerships ever. Also voiced by Kevin Kline and Kenneth Branagh, so extra awesome. I think they're adorable and they're hilarious, and Road to El Dorado is one of the most underrated, amazing, and hilarious animated films out there, so go check that out. And if you haven't seen it in a while, go watch it again. I promise you, it's as funny as you remember. Peter and Roger from Dawn of the Dead. I love Dawn of the Dead. I love Peter and Roger. I think their friendship really makes the movie for me, and I think their scenes together are just adorable. Oh, I love them. Mal and Zoe from Firefly. That's a little bit different from the other ones I've listed because, of course, Mal's a guy and Zoe's a gal, but they've been together through fire, flood, famine, and warfare, and they're still best friends. And I think that it's obvious in war stories that it's only friendship and a super strong friendship right there because as Wash tries to push the point, obviously Mal and Zoe do not have any sort of sexual attraction to each other, and I just think that episode is hilarious. One of my favorite episodes. It's a great one. Okay, and the last heterosexual life partnership on my list is going to be the most contested, I know, because this is like the favorite among slash communities, especially on my friends list. Spock and Kirk, and I'm throwing in McCoy because they're an OT3 heterosexual life partnership right there. Now, I have nothing against slash. I enjoy reading the occasional slash fic, and if you want to slash those guys together, that's perfectly fine with me. But, as I said, I tend to lead more towards canon when it comes to relationships. And I just really think that Spock, Kirk, and McCoy have one of the strongest bromances ever. I love how they all have conflicting and yet complementary personalities. I love how they play off each other. I love how they drive each other insane. And yet I love how they would sacrifice themselves to save the others. I love all the group hugs. I love all the touching. I love all of the teasing and the goofiness. I just think Kirk, Spock, and McCoy are one of the most awesome OT3 heterosexual life partnerships ever. Now, I know that on this list, I basically just have guys. That's in large part because I think it's rarer to find male heterosexual life partnerships than it is to find female. I don't know if that's just me or what, but maybe it's because I have this idea in my head that guys find it harder to be more emotional or more attached to people than women do. But I tend to find male heterosexual life partnerships a lot more adorable and, you know, cute and fun to observe than female. If you have any others that you'd like to add to the list, or if you think that I should add some more ladies to the list, let me know. Leave me comments. I'd always love to add to my list. I'd always love to do some pick spams in the future of some awesome heterosexual life partnerships. That's my vlog for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Check you later.